Welcome to Too Many Tabs, a podcast where a husband and wife duo sit across from each other at a desk, where one of them has done research all week about a specific topic, and then they're going to lore dump that information onto the other person. That's the whole podcast. It's the only podcast.
Too many frauds and too many scammers that we wish weren't real. Too many cons and too many spammers, and we're starting to feel like we've got too many tabs open. It's too many tabs. Remember to smile.
And we're back.
We're back. We're here. I was like, you know what? I've tried too many takes.
Too many takes.
For the Too Many Tabs intro.
I had to take over.
You had to just jump in there. Mm-hmm. And you did a good job.
Thank you.
Because I'm really hyped because, number one, new microphone.
Look at that. You
I know.
fancy
I'm
pig.
trying out the new microphone.
Wow.
And if I like it, and I think I do, I think I'm going to order you one as well.
Oh, that's right.
I have dual monitors now.
I can't. The upgrades that are happening.
Yeah.
Air horn button broken.
Air horn button. The air horn button is so broken. We've just discovered.
We have to pick and choose what we can do.
Yeah, I need to get a new button for the air horn.
Yeah, we'll
or
get
maybe
there.
I'll just buy an actual air horn and
Do not. The baby will wake up.
It'll probably make our ears bleed. But but we're here for another episode. I just back from Atlantic City.
Welcome back.
Had a great time.
Yeah.
Atlantic City was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who came out. A lot of Too Many Tabs fans.
Absolutely.
A lot of them. And every single one of them. This thing happens whenever I go out in public now. Because it happened to me, too, when I was at the rally in Philly for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. If there's a woman standing within 3 feet of me, everyone's like, is that Mrs. P? And I'm like, no. It never is. And to the point now where if I know the woman who's near me, I'm like, just so you know, like, you might get tagged on the internet as my wife. And I want you to be aware. And they're like, the one that I was sitting next to yesterday at the rally, she was like, my husband will beat them up. And I was like, I need you to know. I don't have control over this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People just assume immediately.
Yeah.
But again, we had a really great time at Atlantic City. Really great crowd. Just amazing. Thank you to Noah Houlihan and Satoyo for joining me. And we're going to be doing it again in all of September.
Mm-hmm.
I booked September
Every
so
weekend.
heavily that you're...
I'm not. I just,
Okay. I'm going to be on Jersey City September 14th. I'm going to be in Philly the 21st and the 22nd. And then I'm in St. Louis and Indianapolis the 27th and 28th, I think. I don't know. I got to look at the dates on those. But you go to the link in the down belows and you can find all that information.
Yeah, please go to these shows so that he can buy soup for the family.
I can buy soup for the family. And some people have actually brought soup.
I know.
And I've signed them.
Yes.
And I've given them back.
Autograph soup.
Yeah. If we had really thought this through, I would have done a local shelter.
Yeah, I think next time we should probably figure that out. Like a way to bring a can of soup or something to donate.
Yeah. But then I'd be worried.
Why?
Because now I'm telling people to bring soup. And then if I don't do well on stage, they'll throw them at me.
No, they have to give them at the door.
Oh, okay. Give away the soup. And then we'll scan you. We'll make you go through metal detectors. With all of that, we've just recorded our new episode of The Warm Up. That is up on Patreon. It's
exclusive.
been up for a couple days. Patreon exclusive. And now we're going to go into a topic.
Yeah, guess what?
What?
It's not me this week.
It's not you this week.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Oh,
right.
guess who took a week off?
You did.
I did.
And by a week, you mean like 2 days.
2 days off.
Because I've been working on this one, and it's one we was requested a while ago. People have really wanted to hear about this one.
It was
for
in
a
the
while.
original request poll we put out.
Yeah, we put out a big request opening for a lot of people to dump in their ideas like a couple months ago. A suggestion box. And it's in there, and I'm going to be doing Joel Osteen and the Lakewood Church of Houston, Texas. This would have been a very good episode to do before I went to Texas.
Oh, right.
But I am going to be in Texas again.
Yeah, you're going back.
Yeah, I'm going back. We mentioned last episode. I'm going to go back to Arizona in November, and I will also be in Dallas, Texas, November 16th. I don't know if I have a link to it yet, but it is coming, and we will have it up soon. But I will be doing Dallas and Arizona, Dallas, Texas, and Phoenix, Arizona in November. More to come on that. But now,
Yeah,
let's talk about...
Stop talking about these shows. I want to
Okay.
hear about this Joel guy.
Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of our plugs
Yeah.
and talk about a man who plugs better than anyone else I've ever seen in the history of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
The Joel Osteen and Lakewood Church Experience. We're back, and here we are, and we're getting started.
Let's do it.
So, Lakewood Baptist Church
Okay.
was founded on May 10th,
Mm-hmm.
1959 by John Osteen and his wife, Dodie Osteen.
Okay, so the church is a Taurus.
It's a Taurus church. Yes.
That's the energy.
Yes. It was initially a tent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a tent revival.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, I had doubled and triple checked. Her name is Dodie. Dodie. I thought that looks like a Dottie to me.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, it's Dodie. And there's video of them being like, Dodie. And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay.
All right.
It initially was a tent. It was a tent revival. It was a Baptist style revival preacher type style thing. And then it quickly grew.
Yeah.
The Lakewood tent revival grew, and it moved into an actual church facility, which was a converted feed store in Northeast Houston, Texas.
Sure.
So yeah, they used to have like horse feed and cattle feed and stuff like that, and instead they were like, "This is a big enough space. We can have people in a church." From the very beginning, John Osteen emphasized racial inclusive congregations. These were
okay.
not segregated. This is Houston, Texas, and he wants black and white people together. And he wants them all there, and he attracted a diverse membership because of this.
Okay.
He made a very big deal of this.
All right.
Which is like groundbreaking and good.
Okay, great. I have a little spark of hope,
Yeah.
and that's nice.
Yeah, no, it's a good spark to
Yeah.
start at. After a little bit, John Osteen dropped the name Baptist, and he made it a non-denominational church. He said, "This is a facility for Christians.
Got
it's
it.
not just Baptist," because
He
Methodist.
didn't want all that, all the rules that come along with it.
There's a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, this is how you get outside your niche, right?
Yep.
If you're only targeting Baptists, you can only get Baptists to come over.
Got
There's a lot
it.
of Methodists down there.
Yeah.
There's Catholics down there. There's all these different people. So he just said, we're just Christian.
Got it.
John Osteen then, in 1961, he was still there, but he left as head pastor from 1961 to 1969, and it said that he, quote, went on mission.
Oh, okay.
So
Good little break.
It kind of a little breaky, but also it's like studying a bit and like doing some other different things. So I don't know how much he traveled around the world or any of those different things were doing missionary work.
Did he like start any type of like medical situation or a radio station?
Not
or-
yet.
Okay.
Not any of those things.
Because, like, I mean, historically, whenever this type of person goes on a little mission,
Yeah. Well, no,
Suddenly
his
we
mission is to
gotta-
spread the word of God. That was his
Okay.
mission. When he returned as pastor in 1969, the church grew rapidly.
Yeah.
And they broke ground in 1972 on a 700-seat building.
nice. Okay.
And then after they opened that 700-seat building, it got even bigger. So by 1979, 7 years later, they expanded and broke ground on a 5,000.
What are they selling here? Why is this so popular?
It's church. They're selling Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's
Now, when he opened the 5,000-seat church, the Lakewood Church, he nicknamed that church the Oasis of Love.
that's weird. I don't like that.
No, because it's an oasis of Christ's love in this drought.
As an outsider, I think that's a weird name.
Yeah. Now, in the 1980s, John Osteen, he began to broadcast his sermons on television.
All right.
And by 1987, Lakewood had to expand again to an 8,000-seat church.
Wow. All right.
Okay. And like I said, the big difference with him versus a lot of the other preachers who were in the area, especially in the South, is he's a white preacher who is completely comfortable with people of Hispanic, black, and white descent being in the audience. And he really pushes, we're all God's children. We're all together in this. He really, really emphasizes this.
Okay.
And that I do want to highlight that is good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Joel Osteen.
I am nervous. I need you to know.
Okay, no, that's fine. Joel Osteen okay, who is the man we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
He is one of John's 5 kids.
5 kids. Got it.
5 kids.
Okay.
I didn't.
Where-
what,
we don't know.
I don't know where in the order.
Oldest,
He's not the
youngest,
oldest. He's not the
middle?
oldest. I don't know.
Whoa.
He was born on March 5th, 1963.
I feel like middle children don't follow in their parents' footsteps like that. Like middle children are like fun. They're like the fun ones.
Yeah, they kind of duck under the radar.
Yeah,
a
they get to
bit.
just like go do whatever they want.
Joel Osteen was born March 5th, 1963. So while his dad was kind of on mission and doing that type of stuff, he was born, though, in Houston, Texas. While growing up, Joel was primarily involved in the church in a background capacity.
Okay.
So, he would, pass plates and like do that type of stuff. He wasn't being groomed to be a preacher.
Okay.
And he really, from everything I've read in here, like he liked to play basketball.
He was the middle child.
Yeah, he really liked, what he really got into was media ministry. So what he was super into was cameras.
Okay.
And he liked when his dad started getting into doing the televangelist thing and doing televised sermons, Joel was the one who really took to that. And that's what got him into it.
Immediately going to Righteous Gemstones now. My brain can't do it.
So
It's right-
I'm going to go ahead and clear up something right now.
Okay.
The Righteous Gemstones is partially based on this.
Okay.
Actually,
as soon as you said it, I was like, uh-oh.
Actually, what they said when I was reading through everything and I was discussing it with someone else, they said, yeah, Joel Osteen is Gideon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Gideon. So, like, that's just to be clear on that. Joel, as he gets a little bit older, he, goes through high school, does all those things. He then enrolls in Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oral
Roberts.
Okay.
So Oral Roberts University was founded by a man named Oral Roberts.
Sure.
Oral Roberts, and this is where we're going to get on the sales side of things.
Okay.
Oral Roberts is one of the first prosperity gospel televangelists.
Okay.
And that is a big part of the Osteen preaching.
Yeah.
It is prosperity gospel. And we'll get into a little bit more about that. Joel studied radio and television communications at Oral Roberts University. And when he was learning that, he was also learning the Christian theological teachings. That because Oral Roberts is still in that Liberty University, Jerry Falwell type of world. And in fact, ORU sold off their law division, their law school, and that became the Liberty University law school.
Yeah.
That was all their books. They've been having problems in recent years because Oral Roberts was designed very much like a Disney Tomorrowland. And so when you go to it, it has a 50s futurist feel that is now shabby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it has that like Epcot, but they haven't been updating to USB-C. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So despite being enrolled at Oral Roberts University, a fun name to say, Oral Roberts, it's like rural juror. I can't rural juror. It's difficult to say, Oral Roberts. But despite being enrolled, he did not complete his degree.
Oh.
He dropped out after about a year and a half.
Ooh.
So maybe like three semesters. He left and he came back to Houston to work at the church because he says that he was called to work in his father's ministry by God.
That's what I would say if I wanted to drop out too.
Yeah, he said God called him to come back and to focus.
These classes are difficult.
To focus deeply on the church's
God
media
told me
outreach.
I should go work for my parents.
Yeah, God told me I don't need to wake up at 8 a.m. to go to this class when I could wake up later.
God said this hangover and first period classes don't have to go together because I'm a Nepo baby and I need to cash in. God said so.
So he really focused, though, on the church's media outreach. He really focused in on the televangelism side of things. Hyper-focused. And he really got into camera angles. And a big part of that is he wanted to show off both the size of the congregation because his dad was getting big crowds.
Yeah.
I mean, by this point, they're in the 8,000-seat theater.
Got to show off the crowds.
You got to show those off. And on top of that, he really wanted to show off the racial diversity of the audience. But not only just racial, but also gender, age, all these different things. Like when you see, if you go, and you can go still and type in John Osteen and look at the crowds, that is through the eyes of Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
What you're seeing is him in the truck being like, cut to camera 3. Focus in. I want to like get me a mom with a baby. Okay, cool. Show me a Hispanic family.
Okay.
Show me
Now I'm picturing Vince McMahon. Okay.
It's kind of like that though, but it's him like we're gonna keep moving this along, and it is. When I was watching it, it is still that classic preacher. It's the classic 80s televangelist, but it does have more of a modern touch for how often they're cutting the camera. And how they're showing the crowds, and it also has that weird thing where like you realize like these people are younger than us, but they look so much older.
Yeah,
because
I do know.
because sunscreen is evil.
No, sunscreen is incredibly important.
A man
and
on TikTok
lotion.
told me that sunscreen is evil and part of a Jew conspiracy.
Okay.
So
I don't know how many times I have to.
He
say
also
to
said
stop
that I
listening
was
to
a
these
Fed,
people.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's the same guy.
Was he wearing a mask to protect himself from the sun?
No, he was. He was standing in front of a blue light talking about how Robert F. Kennedy definitely didn't fuck that bear. Okay, so sorry guys. Sorry, I had to bring it up.
You didn't.
So he says in interviews, he said while editing videotape of his father's sermons, quote, he sometimes watched with the volume turned low.
Okay.
And he would just appreciate how much his dad could communicate through just facial expressions alone.
Okay.
And that actually is important because their ministry expanded beyond just the Houston area.
Yeah.
Their initial target was just Houston and just local TV, and it expanded to the Family Channel that Pat Robertson had, and a bunch of other like cable and satellite. And slowly over time, when you watch it, John Osteen would make a big deal to show you. Would show you a flag of every country around the world where they were being broadcast.
Yeah.
To show you their worldwide reach. And I watched one of them, and it was actually funny. I came down and told you, I was like, yo, how funny would it be if I got saved? Like,
we were
from sitting here watching I was just watching all of these sermons.
About the amount of research we do about this religious stuff.
Yeah.
And then if one of us just came down and were like, listen, I think this is really.
No, I'm just, I was scrolling through my YouTube and I realized during the hard times, the YouTube was carrying me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just kind of that feeling.
I was like, you know what? Listen, I feel like maybe my health isn't what it should be. And I just think maybe if I tried drinking a little bit of colloidal silver, I might feel better.
I was watching this sermon and I realized like holy water from the River Jordan mixed with colloidal silver.
Yeah.
That would get me right. And if you use the promo code, no. So the one thing about their relationship, from the few things I could kind of find about it, and Joel talks a lot about his dad, but again, it's that Hollywood feel, it's that like promoter feel.
Yeah.
So you're not ever gonna know, but it feels like he had a pretty good relationship with his dad.
Sure.
And from what everyone around him says is John really was like, Joel, you got to get on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to call it like preaching. I was like, you got to get on stage.
Yeah.
Like, you have something. And Joel was like, no. He just kept running the church. He kept running the media, kept doing the editing, kept doing the camera banks until January 17th, 1999.
Okay. All right.
On January 17th, 1999, Joel gave his first sermon at Lakewood Church.
All right.
John Osteen, like I said, had been begging for years, and he had a heart attack.
I'm sorry, what?
He had a heart attack.
After witnessing it?
No, just before this happened. He was bedridden, and he was in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And so John called Joel into the hospital, and he said, I would like you to give this week's sermon. And Joel said, okay. Mm-hmm. And he got up, and he gave it, and his dad watched it from the hospital bed and congratulated him. And 6 days later, he died.
Oh, okay. He was like, I can pass on.
Yeah, he was like,
he's got this.
He got it.
He's got it.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And so Joel was quickly, after a very large funeral event, because Dodie was also, by the way, we're forgetting about Dodie. That's John's wife and Joel's mom. Dodie is also a pastor.
Yeah.
When you watch the old John Osteen, what it would do would be a half-hour segment, and it starts out with John and Dodie in like a fake living room. Mm-hmm. And in that fake living room, they talk kind of like about stuff. And then she just starts rapid firing off, in John 17:93 and in Corinthians 9:32 and then blah, 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 and she just like fires. It's so rapid fire that if you were actually trying to be like, oh, and what was that? You'd be running back and forth in your book.
Yeah, she could be making them up. We don't know.
We have no idea. She's firing, but she's also talking very fast.
Yeah.
And it's all through that Pentecostal, evangelical, tent revival style stuff.
Yeah.
So Dodie's there, and she gives a sermon at John's funeral, and in it she declares that Joel has been picked as the lead pastor.
Okay.
And Joel's like looking at his shoes. Joel does not have training as a pastor. He has never
This whole time?
He has never had seminary training.
Okay.
He is not a preacher.
Sure.
He is not a pastor.
That's never stopped anybody.
If you remember me, what I said before, he did 3 semesters.
Yep.
About TV cameras.
Yeah.
And editing. That's what he knows.
Yeah.
But he got up and he went out there and he did it again, and the people liked it.
Yep.
And people really liked it. And Joel freaked out, though, before his second thing. And he actually had contacted the Family Channel and told them to cut their spot. He's like, without my dad here, I don't know how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until everybody got around him was like, no, you're the guy.
Yeah.
We're going to keep doing this. He's like, these broadcasts cost a lot of money. And he got up and he did it. When Joel took over, Lakewood, this is what Lakewood Church was set up as. They had a total congregation of 15,000 parishioners, right? They have the 8,000 seat facility, and they have ministries in televangelism, conferences, ministry support, and food distribution.
Okay.
So they're doing like local soup kitchen style stuff and things like that. It's pretty broad based.
Yeah.
But it's the basic stuff you need to do to feel like a church. Joel and Dodie gave Joel one direct commandment.
Okay.
About running the church.
Sure.
Which is a thing that I noticed. Never ask for money directly on television.
Okay.
Now, this is part of a belief that John and Dodie had that other televangelists didn't. Other televangelists were really, really overt about it. So they would make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they were so overt about it, they burn out. So, the Tammy Faye Baker and the Jim Baker and all these different people out there who would do this type of stuff, Pat Robertson, all of them.
Yeah.
They were very direct.
Yeah.
Especially, T.D. Jakes, all these other guys. Very direct. You need to give me money.
Yeah.
John does it differently, and Joel does it differently. They tell you how much the broadcast costs. And then they tell you that if you want to help, keep the good word getting out there.
Yeah.
Here's a phone number you can call. Here's a website you can go to. Here are these places you can go to.
Yeah, make everybody feel romanced.
They don't do it directly. They don't tell you, if you'd like to become a member, go to pearlmania500.net or patreon.com/pearlmania500 and follow us on all the social medias.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can find us on all those things. They don't do that.
They don't know how to cut a promo, is what you're telling me.
No, they do know how to
I'm
cut a promo.
teasing.
They know how to trick you into following a hippie to a second location.
No.
That's what they know how to do. And a big thing with this is pointing out the church's needs, and then also telling you about other events they're doing and telling you about secondary things, books, telling you about conferences, telling you about they do a monthly travel show where he goes and they go do these arenas.
Okay.
So you can come see him live, right?
Yeah.
Same way you can see me live September 14th. The same way you can see me live September 21st and 22nd in Philadelphia.
No.
All these different ways,
No.
right? But again, it's very not direct.
Yeah.
Now, between the TV preaching and generally the growth of his ministry, because he comes in and Joel knows how everything's run. He was there the entire time. He also doesn't have his dad's tent revival hangups. So he starts to streamline some things, and he can, his dad trusted people too, but he knows how to who to push on.
Yeah.
The church grows year over year over year. And I do want to make note of one thing.
Okay.
In 2001, Tropical Storm Allison hit Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Lakewood Church opened their doors and they sheltered 5,000 people.
Okay. Great.
That's important to know.
Yeah.
Now, 1999, Joel starts preaching. By 2003, the congregation had grown to 30,000.
Jesus. Okay.
And they needed to move again.
Yeah.
So Lakewood Church bought an NBA stadium.
Okay. All right.
Yep. They bought the Compact Center. It's where the Houston Rockets used to play. Now, they didn't buy it directly. The first thing they had to do is they had to negotiate a deal with the city of Houston, and they signed a 30-year lease.
Holy shit. Okay.
And it was a 30-year lease that had to be paid up in advance.
Oh my God.
So it cost them $11.8 million.
How's it a lease if you're paying all of it up front?
Because you don't actually own the facility.
Okay.
So, like, they could break the lease. There could be things that could go through there.
All right.
But it was like, you don't actually own it. Houston didn't want to let go of, this is pretty, like, good land,
Yeah.
too. You know what I mean? There's land associated with it,
what I
parking
mean.
lots,
Okay.
all these different things. So it's like, it's a pretty big dump for them to get rid of.
Yeah.
So they signed a 30-year lease, $11.8 million in advance rent. And this was covered by Lakewood Church selling their previous facility for $15 million.
Okay. Who did they
Okay.
sell it to? Do you know?
They sold to another church.
Oh, okay.
So there's another mega church like down there that they sold. In 2003, the church, by this point, the church was taking in $50 million in revenue a year.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, that's a 5-fold increase since Osteen became head pastor.
Okay.
All right.
And this is prosperity gospel, in which they're saying that if you do what they suggest, you're going to get rich.
Yes.
But then they're taking money.
All of this was in the form, almost all of this was in the form of donations made from people who have been moved by his message from television and on worldwide broadcasts.
All right.
Now, one thing I want to note is some things that people have pointed out is that the Osteens do seem to very heavily aim their messaging at countries and regions that are in dire straits, because their messaging in the prosperity gospel is about seed money, seed donations.
Okay.
So it's the idea of your money in your pocket, your 10% tithe. That is a little seed that you are handing to God through the Lakewood Church, through the Oasis of Love.
All right.
And you take that money and you hand it to me. You get that $10. You only have $100 in your pocket. You give me $10. And I take that $10. I'm going to take it. I'm going to invest it here in the church. I'm going to invest it in the Lord. And before you know it, that money is going to return to you 5-fold, 10-fold, 15-fold. You're going to see that money. If you go to Pearlmania500.net right now and you become a $5 team lead member,
I don't think you should be aligning our brand like this.
You will see.
I don't like it.
You will see in your soul a difference that will come. Your days will be brighter. But this
That's
is kind
just
of
true, actually.
But this is a big part of what Oral Roberts pitched and others. TD Jakes is another one of them.
So there's somebody in a different country who's giving him, quote, seed money,
Hoping that then they will have better fortune.
Okay.
Because God will favor them more.
But he said, I'm going to invest the money in Houston, Texas, but they don't live there.
He didn't say he's going to invest in Houston, Texas. He said
It's an
he's
investment
going.
in yourself.
You are investing in God.
Okay.
And that's the thing.
I don't know a lot about investment portfolios, but I feel like that's not a winning portfolio.
Well, there is one thing that's in their portfolio.
Lockheed Martin.
No, it is the they trademarked Joel Osteen and the Lakewood Church's name, among other things. They started heavily trademarking everything so other people couldn't rip him off.
Yeah, okay. For the merch.
For the merch.
The merch is coming.
After $100 million in renovations to the Compact Center,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Lakewood Church reopened their doors to a new 16,800 seat facility.
Wow. All right.
The facility has rooms for youth ministry, educational programs, and a bookstore, as well as a cafe.
It's a cruise ship.
It's a cruise ship for the Lord. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. By March of 2010, the City Council of Houston outright sold the Compact Center to the Lakewood Church.
Okay, good. Now they're getting their money's worth.
Yeah, they had to
Get that equity. You know?
they finalized the purchase for $7.5 million to offset tax losses that were due to the 2008 recession to Houston in general. Houston's budget was really blown out, but also I would like to point out that this is a church, so that land is now not taxed.
Yeah. So didn't think that one through, guys.
Yeah, so it was like really fucked up pretty badly, but they needed the money right away, so that's what they did. So let me run you down some numbers here.
Okay.
I told you 16,800 seats. That's the number of seats at Lakewood Church. They have a weekly total attendance of 50,000 people.
Okay, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, because they do multiple services throughout the weekend, and they typically do a Wednesday show. 10 million.
You just called it a show.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a show.
They
Fuck
put on
everything.
a Wednesday show.
No, yeah, they put on a Wednesday sermon or whatever. Yeah, they do these. And Joel isn't the only pastor.
Yeah,
there are other pastors, including his wife.
Yeah.
10 million is the estimated weekly number of U.S. viewers of Osteen's televised services.
Okay.
So in ratings, it's 10 million. Now, I don't know exactly when that number's from. This list is from kind of all over the place. 12 million is the assessed value of the 17,300 square foot River Oaks mansion where Joel Osteen and his wife Victoria live.
Okay. All right. So the prosperity gospel is really prosperating in a certain direction.
In 2017, the couple, Joel and Victoria, paid $247,000 in property taxes on that property. Because
that feels like it's probably not enough.
Well, now here's the one thing. I'm going to give him this.
Okay.
Other preachers would have put that property in the name of the church.
Yeah.
And then that property, as a rectory, would not have paid any property taxes.
That's what Katy Perry's parents do.
Yes.
Throw back to the Katy Perry apple cider vinegar episode.
Yep. 19 million.
19 million what?
That's the number of Facebook users who have liked Joel Osteen Ministries on Facebook.
Okay.
8.5 million.
8.5 million.
Number of Twitter followers.
Twitter. Okay.
Yep. 90 million.
90 million?
Dollars. That is their annual operating expenses.
That's the expenses.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
83 million.
83 million. Okay.
That's contributions to Lakewood Church collected in offering buckets, online, and by mail.
That's insane.
$2.8 million. That's sales of ministry products, including Joel Osteen books, Bibles, and calendars.
Okay, I do want to see what the calendar looks like.
10.
Okay, 10?
Just 10.
The number 10, got it.
Yeah, that's the number of best-selling books by Joel Osteen.
Okay.
And 8.4 million.
8.4. Is that how many books he sold?
Yeah, that's how many printed copies
Nailed it.
he sold in America.
Okay.
Just in the United States. Yeah, so those are some of the numbers. I actually even have in here somewhere like a financial statement because they've released financial statements in the past. A big thing is, it's typically their operating expenses are around 90 million. Their revenue is between 91 and 93.
Oh, so they're saying they only make $1 million?
$1 to $3 million. But when you look at some of those expenses, and I'll pull them back up here in a minute after the break, when we go into those a little bit, it's like not towards, like, if it was a nonprofit, which claiming it is, it doesn't line up.
Yeah, no, that's a hashtag landlord energy.
Yeah.
Landlords make negatives in a certain way on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. They do a lot. They do a lot to make that $1 million that they then turn around to give back to the community.
How much was his house again?
His house is now assessed at $12 million, but I believe they bought it for 10.7 or something like that.
Okay. All right.
I have it later in the document. So, well, why don't we take a break
Okay.
right here? We're going to take a break. And when we come back, Mrs. P, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about...
I hope you tell me a lot a bit more.
I'll tell you a lot more about Joel Osteen, and including Joel Osteen controversy. We're back. We're here.
We're here.
And
we didn't go anywhere.
We didn't go anywhere, but we have a friend this week, and our friend is Factor Meals. Stop wasting time in the kitchen. You have better things to do than chop veggies. You hear that, Mrs. P? Factor's no prep, no mess meals will fuel you up so you can spend more time on the important things. The meals are fresh, never frozen, and approved by dietitians. Just pop them in the microwave or on the stove for 2 minutes, heat and eat. Factor has tons of variety with 35 different meals and more than 60 add-on items to choose from every single week. Breakfast, lunch, snacks, and desserts. Factor has what you need.
I personally love Factor because it's really helped with my decision fatigue when it comes to meals.
Yeah.
I have a lot going on.
A lot.
And not having to think about dinner, incredible.
Yeah.
Love it. Highly recommend. Just one less thing on my plate, but something on my plate nonetheless.
Yes.
And yeah, I ordered the one with the protein meals because I need to get my protein up because the baby stole all of my bones. And so I'm working to keep my protein up, and it's been super, super helpful.
Yeah, no, it's been really great, and I've really been enjoying them. Factor makes sticking to a healthy lifestyle incredibly easy. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein, avoid meat, or simply eat a well-balanced diet. Head to factormeals.com/toomany50 and use code TOOMANY50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code TOOMANY50 at factormeals.com/toomany50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. And thank you again to Factor for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get back to talking about Joel Osteen. What a combo. Joel. What? Incredible.
Seamless.
Yeah. So Joel, like we said, Joel pushes the idea of seed faith inside the prosperity gospel. And that's when you surrender yourself to Christ and then you're rewarded with riches on earth today.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing.
Jesus was super known to be like super pro wealth.
Yeah.
He was big into it.
Even though I have like a laundry list of things like the eye of the needle and other things that where Jesus was like, bro, money.
Flipping tables at the bank.
Yeah. No. It doesn't matter.
Huge fan of money, that dude.
They've gone up. People have made up lies about what the eye of the needle means. It's like, no, a camel fitting through the eye of the needle versus a rich man getting into heaven.
Yeah.
Rich people have come forward and have made up a lie that, no, the eye of the needle is actually a gate in Jerusalem. No, it never was.
That's not what it means.
It never was. Why would a man have a metaphor where rich people can still easily get in it? Why would he even mention it?
Yeah.
How would it make it through that many edits, bro? Not only did Jesus hate rich people, but every person who wrote that book up until it was fucking codified hated it.
Yeah.
Okay? But here's the thing about Joel.
Okay, tell me.
Joel doesn't let that shit get in his way.
Absolutely not.
When he talks about seed faith, when he talks about having money, and when he talks about how Jesus Christ and the Lord and our Savior, God wants you to feel the faith today.
Yep.
Joel doesn't even worry about that because he's too busy telling you about self-help mantras.
I'm sorry, what?
Self-help mantras?
Okay.
He's doing Tony Robbins.
Wait. Do you have a picture of Joel Osteen? Because I think I've been picturing Tony Robbins this whole time. The big teeth.
No, I'll pull him up for you right now.
Okay.
Joel Osteen. Yeah, he
has big teeth, right?
Tony Robbins has big teeth. But Joel Osteen has a very similar. This is Joel Osteen.
Oh.
Have you been picturing a different guy this whole time?
I've been picturing somebody else. He looks like Dana Carvey dressing up as a preacher.
Yes. Yes, that's preacher Dana Carvey. Yeah, he does the slick back hair. His dad had the classic televangelist
okay, I need
hair
to know
helmet.
that I was picturing Tony Robbins the whole time.
Okay.
Because that's what I thought it was. I thought they were the same person.
No, these are different people. These are completely different people.
Wow.
But it's the same sort of different thing. Joel's sermons are more like seminars.
Okay.
About yourself.
PowerPoints.
They're more direct on that side of thing, and it's more about he uses a lot more anecdotes, and he then just like sprinkles a little bit of God and Jesus mentions on top.
Okay, do we have any of the lingo?
I can
self-help myself.
I don't have any of the lingo, but I do want to pull up.
I'll look it up.
I want to pull up something for you, real quick. Let me pull up a few of these. Hold on one second.
Dead air.
I know.
Joel Osteen lingo. Let me see if that brings you anything.
That's not going to bring you anything.
Your words become your reality. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
what's that called when you oh shit, my brain is so rotted today. When you like think about something so much that it happens.
Yep.
That's the thing with the board, and you put all your pictures on the board.
Yeah, manifesting.
Manifesting. Okay, cool.
Yep. So,
listening to the whisper of God.
Yep.
When you focus on being a blessing, God makes sure that you are always blessed. Cool.
So I'm going to play you the beginning of his YouTube sermons.
Okay.
And all of these are extremely popular.
Are there ads on these YouTubes?
I don't know because we now have YouTube Premium. So I don't know if he has ads on them.
The YouTube Premium that your sister angrily bought for us?
Because I was complaining about how often the baby was seeing commercials. Yeah. And she was like, shut up. Here's money.
She's like, how much is that? $20?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, whatever. Now the baby can watch fucking Elmo and you don't just bitch about it anymore.
No, that goddamn fruit.
Oh,
The mesmerizing fruit.
Fucking song.
Any parent knows what we're talking about.
So anyway, this Joel Osteen did teach me something. I did get pipelined.
You got pipelined?
Yeah. So one thing, I know you can't see the screen. Joel's symbol is Oprah's. Joel wants to be Oprah.
Oh.
He wants to be Oprah, and he wants to be Tony. He wants to use Tony Robbins' language to become the white male version of Oprah. Because even his symbol, it says Joel, and it's a circle with his name etched in it.
Oh, like the Oprah magazine, yeah.
Yeah, like the old Oprah magazine. So he's very much that. But this is the opening of all of his sermons.
I'm ready.
God bless you.
Oh, why is it not going? It's doing this stupid thing. I am so sorry, everyone.
Wow. All right, let me look more of this later.
It's great to be with you. I hope you'll stay connected with us during the week. Through our daily podcast, our YouTube channel, social media. We'll keep you encouraged and inspired. I like to.
Yeah. So every single.
God bless you. It's great to be with you today. I hope you'll stay connected with us during the week through our daily podcast, our YouTube channel, social media. We'll keep you encouraged and inspired.
Get that?
I like to start with something funny. And I heard.
Yep. Yeah, but here, this is. So that was Let It Go. That next one was The God Who Opens Doors. This one is Your Future Is Set. You ready?
Yeah.
God bless you. It's great to be with you today. I hope you'll stay connected with us during the week through our daily podcast, our YouTube channel, social media, and you can come visit us in person. We'd love to have you be a part of one of our services.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
He's got the call to action up top.
We'd love to have you.
Every single time he's got the call to action.
Got to put the call to action.
God bless you. It's great to be with you today. And I hope you'll stay connected with us during the
live
week
shows
through our daily podcast, our YouTube channel, social media, and you can come visit us in person. We'd love to have you be a part of one of our services.
Every single one. And here's the thing. He makes everybody stand for that.
Like the Pledge of
16,000
Allegiance?
people are standing while he's doing that, right?
Okay.
So 16,000 people are standing. And then so they're standing through the promo, which is so crazy. So he does that, and then he does his opening anecdotal joke.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember, one of them was about, like, the devil shows up, and everyone runs away but this one lady, and she's like, no, she's like, I'm not scared of you. I met my mother-in-law. And you're like, what?
Whoa,
and then he holds
what
up
did Linda do?
I know. Then he holds up a Bible. They all say, like, the same, they have, like, a phrase they do.
Okay.
And then he lets them sit. And then they sit and he does his like 20-minute, it's like a 25-minute set.
Okay.
Where he does his promo and it's just, about God and all the different stuff and seed faith. But this is like his sermon. And all of these, they have 3.5 million subscribers on YouTube. This video has 1.6 million views.
Just
this
a few less than Tila Tequila.
Just a few less. And all of these have, like, if they don't have 1 million, they have close to 1 million. He had more in 2020, obviously, because more of his fans could not see him live.
Yeah.
So when they were doing a lot of rebroadcasts, so like there's just one here from.
I have a question about 2020 since you brought it up.
Yes.
That's a big arena.
It's a big
Did
arena.
they get together in person?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
So the, all of these though, it like really struck me because like, again, when we've talked about, what I do with social media, there's always a part that's always feels icky of telling people to go to pearlmania500.net.
Yeah.
to join our Patreon.
Go
or
to iTunes or Spotify and leave a review and 5 stars, please. Thank you.
yeah. Play any of these different things. Go to.
It feels weird to say.
It feels
if
really.
you're a normal person, it feels weird to say.
It feels odd to say. Go to factormeals.com/2many50 and use code 2many50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off next month. Like, it feels weird to say that, but like watching a guy like him who is hyper successful doing a thing that I feel is pretty scummy.
Yeah.
It works. Like, that's the part. And it's the same thing. Him, Andrew Tate, all these fuckers. Yeah. Like, they just repeat it over and over and over again. And the guys who are like, no, I can't do that. It feels like selling out. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you are going to starve to death. Yeah. Like, that level is kind of weird in it on that side of things. But I just wanted to highlight that because he is very good at that. Yeah. A daily podcast? Bitch, what?
Well, he probably has editors.
No, not only does he have editors, though,
writers.
it's not just him. It's not just him. All these different things.
Daily podcast, Jesus.
And they're also repeats. Like, there's just all these different things.
How many times are you saying the same thing?
Listen, it's always the third week of Pentecost.
I looked up, when I was looking up the Joel Osteen lingo, one of the top questions for the Google says, does Joel Osteen believe in God?
There's actually arguments online, especially among the true, like, really, really devout, in the televangelist movement.
Yeah.
And, like, people who are Pentecostal and people who are Baptist, like, they fucking hate him.
Yeah.
A lot of them because, and I was going to mention it later, but a big thing is that he doesn't pick any of the culture war topics.
Oh.
So gay marriage, all these different things, like, he tries to stay above it and out of it, like Dolly.
Yeah.
Like Dolly Parton in that sort of way. And I know, I'm sorry to bring them to put them together, but there is a similarity there because he tries to keep it non-political. And by keeping it non-political in that way, he can just say, no, I'm really just here to talk about God.
Yeah.
He's written...
Because God doesn't give a fuck about a tampon in a bathroom?
No. So Joel Osteen's first book was Your Best Life Now.
Okay.
7 Steps to Living at Your Full Potential.
All right.
Does that sound gaudy? Does that sound gaudy to you?
Yeah, sure.
No, it's not. It's a self-help book. It's a self-help book written by a pastor. He wrote that in 2004.
I think in the number 7, tis now because of the 7 Mountain Mandate.
Yeah.
I'm always just like,
and 7 is the number of God in numerology and all this other stuff. 6 is the devil. But 7 Steps to Living at Your Full Potential. And these, like, for the most part, all these books that he writes also have workbooks.
Is it like go to bed and don't scroll your phone all night?
I didn't read it. I didn't pull it up.
Remember to drink like at least 1 glass of water?
He's written 7 other bestsellers.
7.
Several other bestsellers. Become a Better You.
Okay.
It's Your Time.
Okay.
I Declare.
I'm really starting to see a pattern. You're right.
The Power of I Am.
Okay.
Yep. These are all, they're personal development, a little bit of faith sprinkled in there, and how you're going to prosper from developing yourself and having faith.
Okay.
Every single time.
Yeah.
There's a very specific, like...
Without the hating the women part? Because that's what Andrew Tate sells.
It's not mixed in. Like, he doesn't... Okay. It's not an overt flavor in the sauce. It might be in there. It's not one of those ones that bubbles to the top. Again, because he is giving you the sprinkling of Christianity. Yeah. But in reality, you're just getting a self-help message. All these books are published in English. They're also accompanying workbooks. There's audio books and audio sermons that go along with it, and sermon series. English, Spanish, and other languages, which is how he pumps those numbers up, just like Mr. Beast. That's how he does it. Mr. Beast targets heavily, especially Brazilians. Oh, gosh. In 2015, Osteen appeared to run out of his own ideas.
Oh, okay.
And he was accused of plagiarism by other people. He was accused of using material from other preachers, and he was also accused of stealing from other writers from his sermons and his books without attributing any of them. Osteen denied.
Okay, I need to think about something, because plagiarism in like college, okay, where like you're stealing someone else's ideas and you're writing it down. The idea of a pastor or a preacher or a priest, they're all just using the same workbook. It's the same book, right?
It's the Bible.
It's the Bible.
Yeah.
So like they're not plagiarizing. They're all using the same thing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I would have a question for all you out there.
Oh, no.
All you out there.
No, he's looking in the camera.
Listen to me directly.
Okay.
Look into my soul. How can one plagiarize the word of God?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I was saying.
How can you plagiarize the word of God?
It's the same book. Everybody's using it.
Let me say it slightly louder.
Okay.
How can you plagiarize the word of God? And I'm here to tell you the good news. Mm-hmm. That's not his style though.
No.
I'm here to tell you the good news. I'm just very down home. And one of the sermons I watched by him, he told a story about when he was playing basketball. I think he was like 12 or 13 because he loved playing basketball. Mm-hmm. And he was playing basketball and he got picked for a squad.
Ooh, all right.
And he was shocked because he wasn't the biggest kid and he wasn't the same race as the kid who picked the team. And I was like, weird way of putting that.
All right.
It's weird that you were aware of like racial issues on a basketball court at 12.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just like, that's how he starts his sermons. And like, he got a big laugh for it. Like because the crowd is like, yeah, we're in Houston. Like, this is how we are.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of other televangelists, Osteen has not had any personal public scandals when it comes to sex or when it comes to relationships or any of those things.
He's keeping the brand clean and tight.
Because he follows the Billy Graham rule.
What's the Billy Graham rule?
So Billy Graham, he was like one of the original televangelists. Mm-hmm. He was very popular. My mom went to like Billy Graham revivals when she was growing up in North Carolina. Like the dude had sway. Mm-hmm. The Billy Graham rule primarily states that a married man should never spend time alone with a woman that isn't his wife.
Oh, like the vice president's almost died.
Mike Pence.
That's right, that one.
Yeah, it's like just like Mike Pence. It's the same idea.
I forgot his name.
So
I only know him as the guy that almost died.
Yeah. You talk about Vice President January 6th?
Yeah.
The rule advises against having private meetings, meals, or travel alone with women who are not your spouse. Mm-hmm. This includes business meeting or any other situation where a man and a woman could be alone together.
This is like super heteronormative because what happens when it's not a wife situation?
So when the rule initially was pushed out, Billy Graham and others said this is to prevent situations where a man wouldn't be tempted to engage in inappropriate behavior.
Sure.
By not being alone with someone of the opposite sex, the opportunity for temptation is reduced.
Reduced, but not completely gotten rid of.
Well, you can never get rid of temptation. That's why you need to find the power in the word of the Lord.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now, the rule also serves to protect the reputations of both individuals involved. By avoiding private encounters, it reduced the risks of rumors, misunderstandings, or others that could damage one's personal or professional reputation. And that part is the part where I'm like, yeah, duh.
Okay.
I mean, there's a thing, like, I go back to thinking back in 1999 when I was a karate instructor, right? And we had a rule where you weren't allowed to be alone in we had a little locker room changing area. It was like basically just a walk-in closet that people could go into. You put your bags in. We weren't allowed to be in a room with anyone under the age of 18 with the door closed.
Okay, yeah.
That's a general rule.
Makes sense.
Exactly. It was a way to really protect
all parties, but
especially to protect the instructors, because then people could see in that, hey, everything's cool.
Yeah.
This is kind of that same thing, just initially created shitty.
Yeah.
You know? I do want to note that Osteen's been married to his wife, Victoria Osteen. They got married in 1987. She's also a pastor at the church, and they have 2 children.
Okay.
And now this is where the controversies really start to kick off.
Ooh, I love a controversy.
August 2017.
Okay, August 2017.
Hurricane Harvey stalled over Houston, Texas, and dropped more than 40 inches of rain in less than 48 hours.
That's a fucking insane amount of rain.
It's an insane. The highest peak in the area had 60.5 inches of rain.
Holy shit. Okay.
Harvey was the wettest tropical cyclone on record in the United States. The flooding displaced thousands of people from their homes and damaged businesses, infrastructure. Harvey cost an estimated $155 billion in damage over the total area, and it was the second costliest natural disaster in the history of Texas after Hurricane Katrina, which most people focus on New Orleans, but it was so wide, it hit Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas as well as it went up. It was straight up the fucking Mississippi. But Hurricane Harvey was huge, and people were really stranded without power for a long time. Lakewood Church was criticized pretty immediately after Hurricane Harvey because it didn't open its doors to the public. It did in 2001, but for that other tropical storm. But after Harvey, it didn't help anyone displaced by the hurricane. Many people came and were looking for refuge. They were looking for places and again, when it was the Compact Center, this would have been used as a hurricane center.
Yeah.
You know, as
You
a
would
hurricane.
use a stadium.
This is a refuge. Yeah, famously. Critics argued that such a large facility should have been among the first to offer shelter, and the Lakewood Church and Joel Osteen himself were personally dragged across Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, on television, and others.
Yeah.
In response to the criticism, Joel Osteen and the Lakewood Church issued statements explaining their actions. Osteen stated that the church was initially not safe to be used as a refuge due to flooding, and that they were waiting for the go-ahead from local officials before opening as a shelter.
Was that true?
So, people on the internet posted pictures of the roads and the area around there as showing that it wasn't bad.
Okay. So it wasn't true.
Osteen says one thing, documentation shows another.
Okay.
He emphasized that once the church was deemed safe and accessible, it opened its doors immediately.
All right.
Like I said, they did actually eventually did open up.
Okay.
And he did do a very big media push of showing the doors being open with his sleeves rolled up and his button-down shirt,
course.
standing in front. Here's the pallets
Needed
of
some
water
good
and here's
press.
the food, all these different things. They, like I said, they got dragged. This is what most people know him for.
That's what I said. When you brought up Joel Osteen,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the guy that didn't open his
Yeah,
church.
most people know him for this. And
Yeah.
it is one of the...
The whole time I've been picturing Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I know. Well, and it's actually one of the few blemishes on his armor.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big one. And they've worked really hard since that moment to come back around. A lot of people argue that Lakewood Church is a religious institution. It's a large facility. They should have been more aware. It is a staple in Houston.
Yeah.
A lot of people in Houston have been giving their money to the Lakewood Church instead of investing it into the local community.
Yeah.
Lakewood isn't investing it in that way. It was all these different things. And supporters of Osteen, which there are many of, clearly,
Yeah.
they will say that logistics, safety, and all these things, before they could help anyone else, they had to help themselves, type of shit.
Sure.
Which is why it's one of those ones where I'm like, whatever. However, there's recently been a hurricane in Houston.
Yeah.
Hurricane Beryl. It
Yep.
just hit. Houstonians were out of power. Some areas of Houston were out of power for over a week, almost 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and longer. And when Hurricane Beryl hit, Lakewood made sure to be seen helping.
Yeah.
They went out of their way. They got plugs by local emergency services. They made sure they were on all the local and national news. They made sure that they had their staff and volunteers giving out people. They had more than...
They probably have like a committee within the church, like the emergency
Yeah, now,
committee.
yeah.
That's like just in charge of making sure that if anything happens,
well, they
probably like hook up generators outside when they don't have electricity.
They probably have... No, they probably don't have a committee. They probably have staff, because Lakewood has like 400 staff members. The rest of it is then run by volunteers. Most churches that you go to have like maybe 4 paid people, one of which is like the organist. Lakewood has a huge staff.
Yeah.
Lakewood handed out more than 40,000 bottles of water, 21 pallets of food, which they state could feed at least 1,000 families of 4. They guided more than 400 people into the church for safety and things like that. But it was noted that Joel Osteen wasn't present for any of this distribution. And that is actually a big complaint about Joel Osteen, is
Okay.
that he is not there.
All right. He's not a man of the people.
He is on stage
Yeah.
to tell people to follow them on YouTube, to go to all these different places and to do all these different things.
Yeah.
And he is there during the once a month when they are doing their tours and renting out these different facilities, arenas
Okay.
all over the country. And he is doing television.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes to marriages, he doesn't do marriages. When it comes to a lot of these community outreaches and these other things that you would typically expect a pastor to do, he doesn't do.
So he's not doing the meet and greet.
He does do a meet and greet. But you would do a meet and greet, again, if you're donating at a certain level and all those different things. But he's not in that same sort of way.
Okay. So yeah, he's just not a man of the people in this case.
Yeah. Now, I didn't find out a lot about COVID, though they did get a $4 million PPP loan. Now,
What?
yeah,
Oh my God. Okay.
they got a $4 million
But they
PPP.
never stopped having YouTube videos, podcasts, and having people just send in seed money.
They were still getting money.
Yeah.
So here we go. And they received $4.4 million in PPP loans, which was the Paycheck Protection Program.
You know they probably didn't pay any of that back.
They actually paid it all back.
Shut up, really?
Yeah. So
they're the only ones.
There's a few groups that did who got huge money that ended up paying it back, and Lakewood was one of them. The church defended its decision to accept the loan by stating that the funds were used to secure jobs of its employees and to continue paying them during the months when in-person services were suspended.
Okay, so they did.
The church highlighted that it did not hold in-person services from March 15th until October 18th, 2020.
Okay, when were the vaxes out?
That was like April 21.
Yeah, okay.
But this is when they had listed the ban
before the winter.
But this, I want to point out.
Yeah.
And again, while I don't agree with it, legally, in Texas, they were allowed to do this.
Yeah, I know. I get the legality.
I know. I am not defending it, but I would say as long as they weren't one of the ones who were coming back and saying we need to reopen our doors now.
Yeah.
There were churches.
Joel was like, no, we got this on YouTube. Don't worry about it. I don't want to be there.
Well, Dave Ramsey was forcing his people to come back in person before they were supposed to come back in person.
Yeah.
They did have an impact. The COVID did have an impact to their revenue. It
probably
did.
went up.
No, it just said it significantly impacted its revenue. I don't have those numbers. The loan, when it became public, though, Lakewood did get attacked by all over social media. Of course it did.
Yeah.
Because Lakewood is one of the largest and wealthiest churches in the United States. Joel Osteen is the second richest televangelist in America.
And can you remind me who number one is?
Kenneth Copeland.
Right.
Kenneth Copeland famously has a jet. And COVID-19, I'll blow you away. Kevin Copeland needed the churches open.
Yeah.
Kenneth Copeland is the devil. Like there is that Kenneth Copeland is not a human being to me.
No.
He is a demon wearing a person's skin suit.
Yeah.
He looks crazy.
He looks like that.
On December 2020, Lakewood announced that they had returned the entire $4.4 million PPP loan. And they, reassessed after getting all that criticism.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Joel Osteen's net worth, it's self-stated net worth, is over $100 million.
Damn.
Okay. Yep. He has a $68 million private jet himself. It's an A319 private jet. It's the most expensive private jet you can own. The Osteens, though, did announce that years ago that they no longer receive their annual salary from the church. They used to be paid $250,000, but they do receive direct residuals from their book sales and shows and others.
So they're like, I'm not even being paid to be here. I'm just doing it for the love of the game.
No, they're still
getting monies.
Osteen has made appearances on Larry King Live, even though Larry King's dead. But I remember that's where I first saw him. He was a regular on Larry King. Whenever they talk about faith and they need to fill time, he was on Oprah.
Okay.
In 2007, Tyler Perry delivered a sermon at Lakewood Church.
Shut up.
And after the issues with Hurricane Harvey, Tyler Perry came to Joel Osteen's defense. In 2019, Kanye West performed at Lakewood during his Sunday service tour when he decided that he was suddenly weirdly a minister.
Yeah.
He performed at Lakewood. Joel Osteen, here's what's weird about this.
Okay.
After reading into them.
Yeah.
I think prosperity gospel is evil.
Yeah.
I will state that.
Okay.
There's no way to say this properly. Out of all of the bags of shit, he might be the least bag of shittiest in the bag of shit factory.
Okay, so like out of all the bags of shit we're looking at,
out of all of them,
he's like a dog poop size bag.
Yeah, he's a little dog. But I mean, like, listen, he's stealing. He's stealing money from people who are in hardship.
Yeah.
Through what he's doing.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm like, yeah, but they keep letting him do it. Like, there is no way, like, unless we have an infrastructure to stop this. Like, when I looked at the financial statement, right? So there's their financial statement. The company's net worth, their total assets, is going down over time, but that's because of accumulated depreciation. So it's like, oh, we have less things. It's like, well, no, because you're saying that the things are worth less. Like the building over time, you can depreciate the building to eventually appreciate. On paperwork, the building's worth nothing while you use it. But again, that's legal for them to do. We should just get rid of depreciation then on these tax documents. There's things like that come into effect.
And like
of
taxing
expenses.
the churches.
Tax the church. Yeah,
listen,
you want to cut off his legs, tax the churches, but we're not doing that.
No.
And also, like, he, again, from reading these things, doesn't seem like he wanted to fucking do this. Like, he wants to be a camera dude. He wants to be Oprah. He wants to be Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Like, everything when I'm looking at him, I'm like, this dude. And also, going back, I'm going to hit this button real quick. Let me hit this one. Because when it comes to, like, the whole public scandals and the fact that he's never had any issues with cheating on his wife or any of those things, because he follows the Billy Graham rule, I don't think that he needs to worry about the Billy Graham rule. I don't think being alone in a room with a woman would be a problem for him.
Allegedly.
It's the vibe I get.
It's the vibe.
That's what I'm
Just the
clocking.
energy.
That's
Okay.
That's what my radar's picking up.
Okay.
Okay, because
He's got
I'm telling
nice
you right.
hair.
I'm
Got
telling you
good
right now, he
skincare.
got good teeth.
Yep.
Them suits is pressed. But I'm telling you right now that if I was at a bar and Joel Osteen was sitting next to me, I was like, is this guy fucking hitting on me? Like, that would be how the feeling the whole time. And I, like, even when I was young, when I first saw him, I was like, what?
And if he was, I'd be like, listen, lock it in. Lock it in.
Listen,
You got money.
I'm getting me one of them book deals. Yeah, I just remember. I think for the first time I saw him, I think it was early 2000s, right? So yeah, I think when like 2000, because I remember having to shelve that fucking book, the 7 Steps book about living a better life. I remember having to shelve that when I worked at Borders, and then I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Because it was an ugly book too, because it had like a gold cover. And it was right around the time of like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a bunch of other self-help books like that were really being pushed out.
Oh, yeah, I see the cover. It is
Yeah,
ugly.
it's like that gold. It's like the same color.
I think my pop-up had this book.
Your pop-up definitely had this book. This is the type of thing that your pop-up fell for like every other day. But the I remember when I saw him on Larry King, and I remember just sitting there thinking like, why is Larry King talking to that gay preacher?
Allegedly.
Like, that was my thought process. Like, he gives me that vibe, but again, he stays above a lot of it, but he doesn't, with the revenue they're bringing in, they could be doing more. And it's also one of those weird ones where somebody, one of the things I actually pointed out, his congregation, Joel Osteen's congregation alone, is bigger than the entirety of Scientology.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And yet way less aggressive.
Scientology has like I think around 40,000
Yeah.
total members. He has 50,000 present.
Yeah.
This is not counting people who watch him on television. This is not counting the people who just give him money.
God.
These are the people who are physically available for Joel Osteen in Houston.
Dang.
And again, I'm also not counting when he comes to places like Philly.
Yeah.
When he goes to New York and he goes to these other places. There was a guy a couple years ago who was like a Joel Osteen impersonator and went to one of his like arena revivals.
Yeah.
And like all these people were like, oh my God, Joel Osteen. And he was like, yeah, sure. And just was like taking pictures with him until he was escorted out by security.
Yeah, of course. They were like,
But it was
listen.
just still one of those ones where it was like, yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
And
But it's one of those weird ones because I went into it. I was like, all right, here we go. Let's find us some dirt. And I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Inherently, it's like
inherently, it's bad.
it's
Inherently,
bad, 'cause, like,
I don't
when
like
we
it.
think about the catastrophic weather events that we were just talking about, right? Like all of that money that's being funneled into this church, if it was funneled into public services,
Yeah.
it would have a bigger impact on everybody. You wouldn't need.
Imagine what the Texas power grid could do.
Oh my God, the power grid could be fixed. Oh my God. But like, yeah, you wouldn't need this church to open the doors and hand out water bottles. Like there would be infrastructure. It's the same argument I have about certain nonprofit programs.
Yeah.
And why I want to start a nonprofit to end all nonprofits. It's a long joke.
It's a long-running joke in our family
It's
that
like,
Mrs. P will be the end of nonprofits, and she will bring back government accountability.
it's like, yes, because if we're putting our money in these places instead of having it properly put into the community, because again, he's taking that money and buying a private jet when we could be taking that money and putting it into the schools, into the infrastructure and all this. So like,
Or maybe building a better airport. for everyone.
Wow. Okay,
Not just
here
people who
we
go
go.
to fucking Atlantic Terminal.
Okay, this is very specific right
Okay,
now.
listen, y'all. One time I went to the rich people airport. On most of the major airports, Atlantic Terminal is one of the major ones. When people talk about Taylor Swift's jet, Joel Osteen's or Kenneth Copeland's jet, they don't land. They land at like Philly International, but they don't go to Terminal A, B, or C or Gate 1 through 39. No. They go to this little terminal that's off to the side. And you know what happens over there? Not one person looks at their genitals through a fucking screen as they get x-rayed or have their bag have to take their shoes off and pull your laptop out, or wait, why are you pulling your laptop off? Take your shoes off. We don't do that here. Any of that shit. They don't have to do TSA pre-check. They don't have to throw out their fucking bottle of water. None of that shit. You know what they do? They walk in, they go, I'm here for my flight, and the captain who is piloting their plane walks up and hands them their own bottle of water, and then they all walk on the plane together and they fly away while carrying a baby covered in Gucci clothing.
It's a pretty specific
Yeah.
experience.
That was when I was never been madder when I saw.
Yeah.
I didn't even get on the private plane. I was just there. I was there.
hangar.
I was in the hangar, and I was so mad. This was actually the waiting room for the hangar.
Yeah.
I was so mad. Do you know how much? Listen, a bag of goldfish.
like-
Stop. Shut up. I'm not done.
It's like,
I'm not
do
done.
you know the moment you were radicalized?
I'm not done. So when I was there, right, they had a little kiosk in the corner, and I've been to a lot of airports, y'all. I walk over, and they have this little kiosk where they have little snacks. They got sodas and all this. It's self-serve. You can scan it, and then you can pay yourself. You tap your card, right? And I'm looking. I'm like, how much are the gold? Because nothing has a price. And I go, how much are goldfish? And I beep it. Little bag of goldfish. Little size. Normal size goldfish. And it came up $2. Just like it is
Yeah.
at the fucking grocery store.
Yeah, $2.
That is $9.75 in the airport terminal where we go.
Yeah, they're getting discounts.
They're getting fucking grocery store prices. And not now grocery store. They're getting 2019 grocery store prices, the bastards. Anyway.
Yeah, when he came home from that experience, he yelled a lot about.
Anyway,
very
reach
specifically
out.
This bag of goldfish.
Reach out your hand right now.
Okay.
And use your mouse and click on your browser and type in Pearlmania500.net. Oh, no. And now we're going to reach out and tell you all about the wonderful patriots, the wonderful believers in the word of the Lord who have come forth and have stood by our side to fight in this mission against the devil right here in the oasis of rants known as the Pearlmania 500 studio.
I can't.
We'll be right back
This is inappropriate.
after these messages.
For the hey huns and the shout outs.
Pearlmania, 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 Pearlmania.
500.net, as you guys know. And that was the thing I mentioned. He's wearing a different suit in all of them. At first, I actually had to go back because every time Joel Osteen tells people, "Wait, we're so glad you'd be here. Follow us our daily podcast. Follow our YouTube, all of our social media." Every time he does it, he's wearing a different suit. That's live each time.
Yes.
It's amazing.
A
But
lot of promo.
let's go
Ring the
down.
bell.
We have a few.
5 stars on iTunes.
We have a few people that we need to greet this week
Oh, God.
as new members.
I think we got to stop the preacher voice.
I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and start off with our first one here. We have child of a BetterHelp therapist _ no, I'm not okay, lol.
Oh my God. Hey, hun. Oh, wow. Wow. Hey, hun.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
Oh my God.
That's the biggest.
I'm keeping you in my Joel Osteen prayers.
Yeah.
Okay? Holy shit, dude.
Thoughts and prayers for
Thoughts and
you.
prayers.
Thoughts is spelled THOT.
Hey.
All right, after that, we have Sia Kumba.
Hey, hun.
After that, we had Mads Kasperagus. Kasperagus.
Kasperagus? I don't know. Hey, hun.
Mads Kasperagus.
Love it.
After that, we have listen to all the episodes in a month.
Yo, okay.
They had the allegedly part.
Oh.
So listen to all of the episodes in a month.
Allegedly.
Hey, hun.
After that, we have Kelsey.
Hey, hun.
After that, we have Sarah Sinwai.
Hey, hun.
After that, we have Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca.
After that, we have Shadow, not the Hedgehog.
Whoa. Wait, is one of the hedgehogs named Shadow?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Which one?
He's like black.
Oh, he's a
Shadow the
black
Hedgehog.
one.
He has
Okay.
guns.
He has. Wait, they gave the hedgehogs guns?
Yeah, at some point he got a gun.
Why would they give hedgehogs guns?
Because he's edgy. He's like the
no,
edgy.
that's not edgy.
I need you to understand that Shadow the Hedgehog is edgy.
Okay. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts.
This is not weird OC pervert shit. Okay, I'm just letting you know that Shadow the Hedgehog is edgy.
I can't. All right. So there's a supersonic hedgehog with guns. Cool.
Yeah.
Hang on.
He is. He's got Uzis.
No, Uzi. I was picturing handguns. What do you mean he's got Uzi?
No, he's like Uzis. It's crazy.
Fuck out of here.
It was on like
This is in the video game?
yeah, it was like Dreamcast or one of those. Like he has guns.
Jesus Christ,
Well,
America.
hold on. Wait a
No,
second.
do not show
This
me
is
an
the
image.
Japanese. This is the Japanese.
That's what the Japanese think Americans think is edgy.
Yes, it is. He's got black hair. Yeah, see, here's him with a gun.
Okay, I bumped the mic. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, that's fine.
We got to move. I can't.
Yeah, he's just on. He's got a lot of guns.
Does he have so
But yeah,
many
he's like
guns?
black with like red streaks.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty badass.
That's pretty
okay.
cool.
But thank you, Shadow, not the Hedgehog.
Hang on.
After that, we have Two Paws Shapur. Oh no! I didn't know what that name was until I was halfway through.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Two Paws Shapur.
Please tell me that's
my
your cat's
God.
name. Please
Oh my
tell
God.
me that's your cat's
Our
name.
fans are not only sexy and intelligent,
Yeah.
they're the funniest people alive.
Absolutely.
They're so much better at naming things than we are.
Oh my God.
I called our Patreon exclusive podcast that all these people can listen to. I just called it the warm up because I was like, I don't fucking know what to call this
we
thing.
can't think of stuff.
No. After that, we have Christian Saunier
Hey, hon.
or Saunier. And the next one is the longest. I want to congratulate them.
Okay.
This is the absolute longest underscored name
Okay,
I've
cool.
ever seen.
Buckling up.
Buckling
Click.
up. Total underscore hypothetical underscore but underscore if underscore I underscore was underscore 19 to 20 underscore years underscore old underscore and underscore wanted underscore to underscore see underscore you underscore live underscore but underscore needed underscore to underscore be underscore 21 underscore how underscore might underscore I underscore see underscore you underscore specifically underscore.
Well, I think whenever we do the matinee shows, right, those aren't 21 and over, are they?
It depends on the venues.
Okay, so how about-
this is
Yeah.
what my suggestion is. If I'm coming to a place near you, and most of the places I'm doing are comedy clubs, but a lot of the comedy clubs that I am doing do have exemptions. And my suggestion would be to call the comedy club.
Yeah.
What you will probably need to do is to have someone who is older than 21 to be like your chaperone or something. Like, I don't know. I know that's how it works for
What I'm
minors.
saying is bring your mom.
Yeah.
Moms
I would-
love Pearlmania 500.
But I would contact them, and then also I would like you to send me a message through Patreon, through our messaging,
Yeah.
and let me know which city it is you're trying to come to, and I can reach out to the venue as well.
Yeah.
And that goes,
Or bring your mom.
or bring your mom.
Because moms love Pearlmania 500.
But I also listen. It's crazy, but it's very true.
I know.
Every time people have brought their parents to the live show, their parents have loved the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Their mom was like, I don't know. They just said we were going to a comedy show. You were great. I didn't know. I had no idea.
You know who Magistra loves? This is deep lore for the
Yeah.
pod. Magistra loves Fortune Feimster.
Obsessed.
You opened for
Yes,
for
I opened
her,
for Fortune Feimster.
and
years
Magistra
and years ago.
and I sat in the audience for
Yeah.
it. And I have never seen your
Yeah.
mother laugh that hard. She does not laugh at his jokes.
No, she didn't.
And-
My mom did not laugh at my set.
No, she didn't laugh at it. She sat there, lovingly nodded. Sure, okay. Fortune Feimster set. I think she peed the fucking chair.
Yeah.
She spit took on me. She was taking a sip of her like rum and coke or whatever, and she spit it out all across the back of my head because she was sitting
Yeah.
behind me. I've never heard her laugh so
That
hard.
was the same show where the CFO of the company I was working with, he brought his wife, and his wife was the one who got hammered and started heckling. Because at one point, Fortune Feimster, who's gay, she's lesbian, said a joke about blowjobs. And the CFO of my company's wife was like, my husband loves it when I suck his dick. And we were all like, what the fuck? And like my other boss, like there was a few people from a job I worked at, like I was like, oh my God.
I'm saying it was an incredible show.
It was an incredible show.
It was an incredible show.
This was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, after that, longest name.
Sorry.
Who again? I want you to call the venue. Call the venue first.
Inbox us on Patreon.
And then inbox us on Patreon. After that, we have Lindsay Chambers.
Hey, hon.
After that, we have Kennedy's _campaign_stuffed_bear.
Oh no, the bear's here.
No, so even worse, he messaged me. The Kennedy campaign is selling a teddy bear.
Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me?
No.
Wait, right now?
Right now.
Is it a little baby black bear?
I don't know if it's a black bear,
Well,
but
we
they're
gotta
selling
look it
a
up.
fucking teddy bear. We'll look at it after the show. After that, we have...
Is the bear riding a bicycle? No, anyway, okay.
After that, Jesus Christ. After that, we have Sir Adam _is_my_name_backwards.
Oh, hey, hon.
Oh, okay. After that, I'm like looking at the name backwards. I'm like, okay. After that, we have Nadia Gwynn.
Hey, hon.
And last name we have here
Okay.
is someone who reached out. And I would like to reiterate this to anyone who's made it this deep into the show and you're thinking about joining our Patreon.
Yeah.
You're listening for more lore. And you're also listening for the final password of the week.
Which we definitely thought about.
We definitely have thought out completely. After that, this person reached out because this is true. If you are a returning member, we don't get notification that you have returned.
Yeah.
I don't get any notification. So if you're like, where's my shout out? We don't know. So message us.
Yeah.
Message us through Patreon if you have returned. This person, their name is now, because they changed their name.
Okay.
I'm _back_with_a_stable_paycheck_babes.
Oh, let's fucking go.
I'm back with a stable paycheck, babes.
Let's go, babes. You got this. I'm so happy for you.
We're all proud of you.
We got that budgeting down. We're getting groceries, our utilities, our Patreon. Let's fucking go.
We're getting it. We're
Love
all
a stable
getting it
paycheck. I
together.
love a stable paycheck. Oh my god.
So yeah, that was today's.
Okay, we need to think of a word.
We need to think of a secret phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't you thinking of one?
I am kind of thinking of it, but they're all very like Joel Osteen-y.
Well, that's what it's good. That's fine.
I guess seed. Seed is coming to mind.
Don't write seed. Do not write seed is coming. All right? Under no circumstance is the secret phrase that everyone who made it to the end of the episode, do not go to the comments and write seed is coming, okay?
To mind.
Too many frauds and too many scammers that we wish weren't real. Too many cons and too many spammers, and we're starting to feel like we've got too many tabs open. It's too many tabs. Remember to smile.
Toot toot.